Good morning. I'm Gianni the Greek coming to you live straight from Las Vegas. It's Wednesday, July 3rd, and slow day for sure. In fact, multiple groups hitting me up via the bots, and I only have a total of 4 bets that I moved. Was able to get down for the groups I work with and pass along to subscribers as well. And there was also a play in the bot on overnight. I shut my stuff down at about 9 p.m. East Pacific time, and then someone else takes over. And I woke up and saw that they did have a Wimbledon play, WTA. That's the women's side. And it was on Diana, Dayana, Yastremska, minus 140. Yastremska, minus 140 at worst. Again, not sure if it went off. Just found it in the overnights. And again, not a premium play, but I share as much information as possible. As you know, this is kind of like the light version of the Steam Room. That's the Bet with Ace program, where me and the subscribers meet up once a week at minimum and go over our year-to-date results, go over our long-term results, our short-term results, what the plan is, go over all our money management blueprint in detail, and break it down for different bankrolls, answer any and all questions that they may have, and make sure that our goals are aligned. And that's the profit long term. That's year after year. That's how we keep score. And finally, also help each other brush those demons off our shoulders, which when things are going tough, have us wanting to force bets or chase bets, or when things are growing great, maybe increase our risk of ruin. So it's really benefited those that are actually, using sports betting as an investment vehicle and not for entertainment. But with that said, I don't urge anyone to partner with me unless their bankroll's properly funded, or else you're going to overbet your edge, and it's just not going to turn out well. And I don't want that for you. I much rather you do something better with that money, invest that money, give that money to charity, use it for your entertainment, than waste giving it to bookmakers when you put yourself in a position where your risk of ruin is upwards of 90%, which means you will go broke 90+% of the time and double your bankroll less than 10% at a time. Remember, once you determine and confirm you have an edge and have proven that over a statistically significant sample size, you determine what your risk of ruin is. Personally, I've chosen for the Bet with Ace program to have a 20% risk of ruin, which means we will double our bankroll 8 out of 10 times. We will lose it 2 out of 10 times. Now, so far, we've turned a profit 8 of the last 9 years. So we've doubled the bankroll multiple times. If we were to lose it that one, we just slide the next one in. That's the whole point of having a 20% risk of ruin. You're going to double it 8 times. It's on you to do the right things with all that profit. Again, we use year by year to keep score, because in this industry, you have to be transparent. It's the only way anyone can determine whether you're plus EV. Unless you're just, trying to push hot streaks and take advantage of people's emotions and novice bettors, which isn't what we're here to do. Again, I'm more for the serious people and the ones that gone through the ringer, gone through all that nonsense, that are sharp enough to differentiate between negative EV information and random hot streaks and true plus EV profitable stuff. Coming off a nice day, we picked up a little bit of profit. I think we went something like 5-2 overall. Let me see. On the second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-2 overall with a push. So nice little night. We're just going to keep grinding. Like I said, July was great to us last year. It was one of the biggest months we had of 2023, and helped launch us to increase capital by upwards of 80%, his starting bankroll, by the time December 31st rolled around. And I believe we were down. It was not good after the first 6 months. And deja vu, because we had a bad June. That's for sure. So, which means obviously we're going to be down over the last 7 days, since last week was horrific. But we bet 0.25, not 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, because our risk of ruin would be upwards of 90%. Instead, we bet 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25. Never bet more than 1.25% of our bankroll, which means you got a $10,000 bankroll. You never bet more than $125 on a dog, never more than to win 125 on a favorite. That's how we overcome all negative variance and have been able to turn a profit 8 of the last 9 years. And I'm extremely confident when December 31st rolls around, me and my partners will be saying the exact same thing. So now it's like at 40 minus 40 something units over the last 7 days. We've taken it down. Remember, it's like near 60. But it's 0.25. So it's like 10%. We're at that 10, 11% of bankroll lost. But when in doubt, you zoom out, and what we look at, last 365. If you partner with me for the year, where are you at? Well, luckily, not lucky, proud to say we are up over that 1% ROI. We are up over those 100 units. And more importantly, we are now getting close to 3,500 bets over those last 365 days. So there's always going to be statistical significance over 1,000 bets. That's why we look at last 365, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have more than 3,000, which leaves no doubt at all whether there's an edge or not, and makes us a favorite to do the exact same over next 3,000 bets. So yeah, good stuff there. Let's get right to the action. Hopefully that's something that came in. Nope, nothing there. All right, let's get some baseball action. No surprise, no surprise. Washington again. Listen, I'm not going to not give it out to my subscribers just because it looks like, oh, we bet the same side and they've lost twice. Now we're betting them a third side. Are we chasing? No, they just, obviously the Mets are winning handedly, which is adding some recency bias to the mix and making an inefficient line even more inefficient. And therefore, they're seeing the value and they're betting. Now, the result hasn't gone their way, but that's, again, not going to stop them from placing a bet when it's positive EV. It's like I bring out the old coin flip analogy again. I give you 5-1 on a coin flip. We flip it once, you lose. You're not going to come back the next day and flip it again just because you lost yesterday. You're not chasing. You know you're getting the best of it. So every day you're going to come looking for me to give you that 5-1. That's exactly what these gentlemen are doing with Washington. And I agree, at home, especially since there's multiple groups that came in on the under 8.5. And let's not forget, 9's a key number. 9's a key number. And they brought this one at 8.5, even though the bias of the public tends to be shaded towards the over as far as ticket count counts already. So it seems like pros against Joes here with Washington again and the under for the betting syndicates and Mets and over for the betting public. The betting syndicates did take the run line, willing to lay the 135 for that privilege. And then what else did we bet? They also bet the the over 8 LAA Angels and Oakland, and laid minus 120 there. Like I said, not too much action yet, a little early. We'll see how things materialize and come through. Expecting a big weekend. They usually take advantage of these kind of weekends because people are off from work. They're betting more than usual. They want action. And usually there's a lot of lines that are knocked out of whack, which then opens up the door for some nice bets for the sharp bettors. So looking forward over the next week and hopefully launch into a huge month because August is coming. And that means football futures. I will be sending out win totals. That's for sure. And we'll be grinding away all season. I'm so excited. Can't even wipe that smile off my face. I got to hide it. Just looking at the stock market right now, as we see Bitcoin down to that 60,000 range. Tesla broke out. New Tesla broke out. Remember we got in on that about minus 160. Damn, I wish I held on a lot more. Sold half my position, but still have half of it, and I'm keeping that. Gold's breaking out a little bit. Gold's breaking out a little bit. I'm hoping it pulls back so I could buy more because I think it has another run before the economy tanks. And when the economy tanks, gold will tank with it. But then that's, where we want to be holding for the long term. And we see the commodities are having an up day with uranium, with lithium, and the likes, I believe. Roadblocks really lighting it up. And Nancy Pelosi on Broadcom, buying a little of that AVGO, buying a little bit about Visa, and even buying a little NVIDIA at these high prices. Wow. So you see her AVGO. I mean, it's going up about 10% since last Friday. So about 10% gain since Friday. So there were obviously rumors were already out that Pelosi had bought and was going to declare it. So that's why you saw through 4 straight up days. There's going to be resistance at, well, we're going to hit the gap right now at 17. What's that? 1733. We're going to hit a gap. So you'll get a short pullback, but the big resistance won't be until 1800. And that's a round number. Once we get to 1800, it'll probably pierce it, 1803, 1804, 1805 before it comes back. But I think you'll see a little resistance at 1800. And then the obviously a double top at 1850. If it breaks through 1850, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. If you look at the moving averages, 10-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day, they're all spread out in perfect symmetrical and all going up into the same direction. So, I mean, I know there'll be guys looking to short stock like this, like they're doing with NVIDIA and shorting it, but markets can remain irrational a lot longer than we can. And like they could just keep going up. Be very careful if you're shorting at these high prices. Even myself, who looks to do that, has been extremely cautious and selective on where I'm going to short because it just looks like no one even cares. Like, the market's closed today. It's a short day. Tomorrow it is closed. So crazy to see what's happening. Okay, let's move into the questions. And again, if you want any stock, crypto, that kind of stuff, ask the questions or just tell me that. Don't dig into that. We're not really paying attention. All right, let's see what Miss Jessica has for me today. My man, Neil Caffrey, XX6DD. Look forward to this every day. Question Ace. What materials does a professional handicapper need to have in their office? Great question. Personally, I have a laptop. Well, we have 2 or 3 laptops in here because the key is you want to have a screen up with just your odds screen, not to have to keep clicking to it. So you want one screen dedicated to just your odds screen all day. And then another one that I do work on, the handicapping stuff. And then one that's just for trading. That one's the most secure. I trade all my crypto on there. I trade all my stocks in there, and I make all my bets in there. That's the one that, I have all the technical protection I possibly can, and even get off when I'm done. I take it offline. I don't even keep that computer online when I'm not working. So that's strictly for trading. So I have those 3. I have files, which is, because I'm a ex pen and paper kind of guy. I wish I was more tech savvy. But my generation, again, I've been in the game 30 years. So I have things that are 20 years old, 15 years old. And the tech wasn't as advanced as it is today. People weren't even when I was at the Stardust as a runner, everyone was using payphones. No one even had cell phones and stuff. We were working with SkyTel pagers and regular beepers, if you could imagine, and then kept moving on next to next. So a lot of my stuff's on paper, and I still keep it because I use it to reference. And then I have a lot of post-it. I keep a board with post-its that remind me of things, where I keep the Pythagorean theorem for wins and losses, where I keep my risk of ruin, where I keep certain quotes, where I keep a lot of quotes on long-term winning. I also keep just words, exponential growth, things that keep my mind focused on what I'm doing, things of what I'm doing. Let me look around. What else do I have? Obviously, for trading, I have my GAN calculator. Always, as you guys can see, that's against that wall. That's that GAN calculator right there that I'm pointing at. Pull some files. Let's look at some files. Excuse the look, as you could see. At least change the shirt. See here, I keep, as you see, all my stuff, equities, cryptos, investments. All of that has to be front and center. And by post-its, I mean things like that. Exponential growth, signals, volatility, price discovery, things to remind me, probability of outcome, implied win probability, correlations, things that to keep my mind fresh on. Those are the things I'm constantly looking for. Remember, you got to put it out there. Then obviously all my accounts. Blackjack reminders. These are all the things I need for blackjack to keep. I go over this once a week in my head. I test myself. Got to keep doing it. Got to keep sharp. The only way you stay sharp. And then obviously, here's years of UFC opening line moves, closing, how the fight went. Was it a split decision? Why? That kind of stuff. A little box score information. And it's just year after year since I've been at the UFC. With some notes on the fight, as like you can see, I'm pretty detailed, man. Like that's what's helped me a lot in my success. So I always have that stuff on file and close to me, so that I could just pull it up. Like I said, see, I have all my data on MMA. See, these are stats like greatest correlation to victory in MMA: age, stance, reach, pace, how fights end. 33% by KO, TKO, 90% by sub, 47% by decision. How many no decisions since 2000, 2015? That's all this stuff. Percentage in money lines that have won. This is everything like that. Everything indeed. Fight card positions. The favorite of dog one. Actually, the only one that has statistical significance is the co-main event. If you blindly bet the dog, you'd be plus ROI. There's a lot of good stuff there. First round finishes, second round finishes, age. It's all kind of stuff like that. That you can see for UFC. This is all Dana White Contender Series, week by week. All that stuff, I just keep it. This is all my years at Contender Series. All of it. I could just pull it up in a heartbeat and let them know. This is the stuff I got to keep close. Gambler's perspective stuff. These are secret stuff. This is, stuff to play on, play off. I can't give this stuff on. This is baseball gold right here. This really is baseball gold. This is 65 different trends that actually now we run through in about 2 hours on every game. It says play on or play off based on this stat. For For instance, play against all dogs with a money line of even money or higher with a starting pitcher who gives up half or less home runs per start with a team on base percentage of .320 or worse on the season. Last 5 years, it's been about 75%. So I have little things like that I consider gold. NFL playoff correlation. How many, the points don't matter. Remember we talked about that? In the conference championship, 86% of the time, the winner covers the spread. That's it. The dog wins outright or the favorite blows them away. 88% in the wild card round. Remember, just pick the winner. So I have notes like that I'm sharing. And finally, these are for my trading journals. Got to keep a journal. First, I keep all my notes on, see, that's Fibonacci tracing, how to retrace on Fibonacci, trading based on Fibonacci. These are time counts. Yeah, I'm pretty detailed with this stuff. And how to master movement averages, the things that really matter. This is stuff I paid for. Multi-hit methodology. These are all courses, man, that I've taken and shit like that. Look at that. How to measure move calculations. How to calculate measured moves. Say no joke. Oh, no joke. So I keep all that, but I write it out. I write it all out. And finally, I can't believe I'm sharing this. Here's the Holy Grail. Here's everything. Here's everything. Here's everything. This is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail right here. You see the risk of ruin. You see how to use the Gann math. You see the different chart for the Ganns. This is the Holy Grail right here. See all the cycles, the years. I can't believe I'm showing this stuff. I'm going to show last but not least. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I love you guys. Go down. Please smash that like button. I'm going to do something I haven't done. I really haven't done. Okay, I'm going to do it because I love you guys. This is the business curve. What you need to look for when you're charting with planetary stars and alignment for the charts. And this is the app you want to get. It's called Astro Gold. Astro Gold. Where I could every day, I put in New York City. The time and the place is New York City. So that's where the stock market is. And I could go forward days, backward days. I see where the North Node is. And it gives me a good idea. Positive week, positive days in the market, what to expect. And more importantly, with that the most expensive seminar I've ever went to, like I said, where the guy was retiring, that's the game specialist. He did something for us he never did before. And I'm going to show you guys right now. We mapped out every big days from April 21st of this year through December 27, 2033, just based on planetary alignment. And for this year, here's what's left so far. I'm going to give you a little something right here. Maybe you can check. On this month, are you ready? We're going to have a solid July and August. That much I could promise you. It'll be positive. Oh, wait, sorry. That's 2024, 2025. Let me get back to 2024. Forgive me. Okay. All right. Now we're moving into August. This is what we're going to start looking at. August 19th. Write that date down. August 19th, 2024. Start being cautious. Start having as few positions as possible. Probability is the market will start going down. And it will last through September the 9th, at least. So we're going to have 3 weeks of down. Then December 24th, right before Christmas Eve, conditions really deteriorate very bad. Very bad. In fact, by the 12th of December, the negativity orb begins to form. Now, many of you guys are going to say, "This, what is he talking about? This guy's crazy." I promise you, I would not have gotten involved in this unless I saw a statistically significant sample size and proven results of the Gann method. And that's why the good thing is that by the 15th of January, Jupiter and Saturn begin to separate, and we start to see positivity again up until April, where Saturn conjuncts with the North Node on April 14th. And this negative will last for at least 2 months, 3 months. And next year, April, May, June, July will be terrible. And then in the fall, it'll get good and things really start to get good. 2026, 2027, everybody forgets about it. And then in the January of 29, things start to separate. Things start to get negative. I can't go deeper than that. Gave a little bit too much there. I may have to go back and edit this. I don't want to piss anybody off that paid a lot of money for this information. But actually, I could give a couple of you guys. I love you guys. Give a couple of days out, a few days out. So, again, whether you follow or fade, ignore it. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You could laugh at it, do whatever you say. I never looked at that stuff in my life until it started making me a shitload of money. So whether it's just coincidence or not, I can't tell you. But all I can tell you is based on the North Node, based on planetary motion, there are particular days where the stock market has gone up, has gone down, and it's been a statistically significant sample size. Remember, we have the stock market for a long time now. Every single day, there's a lot of data, and you could always go back and chart where the planets were, where the moon was. And again, numbers don't lie, man. Numbers don't lie. All right. Sorry, I went long there, but wanted to show you the stuff that I like sharing with you guys. Again, I don't even know if that answered the question, but I just like opening up to you guys. This is like hanging out with my boys. And if they ask a question, I take it next level shit. Hopefully that's smashing that like button, sharing this, getting some comments out there. All right. The Hut 31-31. Thanks for the great content, Ace. Thank you, sir, for your time. I learned something new with every video. I hope so. I tried to too. Question for you. Do you ever live bet a game you've already laid money on? For example, you bet under 9 in a baseball game. First 2 innings, they score 2 runs, and the line jumps to 11 immediately on under in a football game. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I usually don't look to place big bets if I only have a position because it makes me feel like, am I really just now chasing or am I dollar cost averaging? So I'll take a smaller position. What I will take a bigger position in is when that happens and I don't have any dog in the fight. Meaning I know the sharp side, I know the steam side. Maybe I missed the number, or maybe I didn't really have an opinion. And that happens where the other team comes out to a big lead. And now I could get the sharp side at a much better number. And it's early enough in the game where you don't have to factor in the changes that have happened. It's just so early that you could chalk it up to randomness. That's when I look to take some bigger bets, because then I'm very confident I'm getting the best of it. Like you said, you got after a few plays that happens, and the wise guys laid -7, and it went closed at -8.5 or 9. And now because the other team scored first, it's only -4. I'm in there. I'm betting big. I'm betting big. I know at -7, they had a huge edge. I know the market closed it at 9, and now I'm getting it at even 4. As long as, again, factors haven't changed where enough of the game has been played that I now have to think about those other factors and quantify them, how it's changed and affected the opening, what the line closed at, the difference now, I'm gold. I'm gold. Bitcoin trying to consolidate at 60,000 and not break down to that 50 range. Come on, we know where it's going. Smashing and sharing daily, sir. You know who that is. That's Neil Siri, 803. It's how you deal with failure that determines how you achieve success. So true, dude. Because it's easy, dude, when things are going right. When things are going great, everybody knows what to do. It's when shit hits the fan, when things go bad. How do you react? Do you panic? Do you get emotional? Or do you stay the course, trust in what you're doing, trust in your judgment, and ignore short-term noise, short-term variance? That's the key. What is your conviction in yourself? What is your conviction in your ability? Like I told you, I know there's a few things that I can do at world-class levels. I can trade in the sports betting market. I can play blackjack. And that's it. I'm not even saying get the stock market. See, I haven't put in my 10, 20 years. So I don't even though I'm profitable, I'm a profitable trader already. A few years in, I don't have that confidence to say that I'm elite, I'm world class. I don't have a big enough sample size for that. For all I know, I could just be getting lucky these last couple of years. It could just be luck. We'll see in time. We'll see in time how I do. But with sports, with blackjack, I know I'm not getting lucky. That's over. That game's over. Like that story's been told, has been written, and the ending's already there. Like I know the ending to that. Unless in blackjack, they just don't let me play. When I could get in a game, I have the edge. And in sports, I'm at a comfortable level where I bet 1x to 5x. I have a bankroll that I'm comfortable with. Even if I lose it, I'm able to easily replenish it because I have over a decade of profit that I didn't increase my risk of ruin on. So I could easily and comfortably do that. Anything else? No, I'm not going to claim I'm an expert at, or I'm not going to offer my advice or even opinion unless asked. That's just the truth. Now, the winning groups you're aligned with, do you seek them out or vice versa? There's some sort of vetting process on your end to see if they have long-term positive EV. Thank you, sir. Great question. Great question. Almost 9 out of 10 times now, it's someone reaching out to me. And it's coming through a network connection who's like, hey, can you help these guys get down? And like, all they got to do is tell me, hey, I've been working with them this long. Like, they don't even have to give me the details. When it's one of the few guys that turn me on to these groups, I instantly start betting for them. I don't need to see their last 1,000 bets. I already know from the network I work with who's moving for them that they just need more guys to get them down. So obviously they're winning a lot. That they need more and more accounts. That's where I come in. And then my job is to see just how good they are so that I could determine how much I'm going to give them. See, the better they are and the faster they could get me the game, the more I'm going to give them. Because that gives me more EV to work with. Because again, lines are going to move. That gives me the better opportunity to get more down, not just for them, but then for myself and the guys that I work with who help me providing accounts, dealing with agents, all that stuff. It's not a one-man operation. You can't do this as a one-man operation. It's just not doable. And that's how it goes. Now, over the last few years, I have stepped out to a handful of guys that before I've never done that. Before, guys would DM me, send me their freaking printouts or download their sheets, whatever that Excel sheets of their last 10,000 bets, their last 8 years, all that shit, last 2 years, all that stuff. Great stuff. I would say, awesome, great. Now, would you like me to document it? Your next whatever. And they say yes. Like always, I give them an email address to send their stuff to. They do that. I'm able to then clock it, see the times that they bet it, or I have them text the play so I could clock it, see, are they getting out ahead of the market? Are they getting CLV? Are they winning? Number one. And is it luck or is there CLV? make that determination after a significant sample size. What has usually happened, to be honest with you, Neil, is that when they start off hot, one of these guys from the internet, like they're all in. They're all in. They're like, see, they're on time. They're saying stuff. But once they get cold and they're at a negative, then they either just, you see, start chasing, or they just disappear. Like, you know, so like they were able to, maybe it was a lie, or maybe they just made up that sheet. But I haven't found anyone that way that has then proven to me they're profitable, where they sent me Excel sheets of their last whatever bets that looked, you know, plus EV, good ROI, nothing too off the charts that I would be like, yeah, this is a pipe dream. But then when I asked them to do it in real time, no one's been able to do it in real time. But over the last a few years, now that I'm very good, very properly funded, I have stepped out to a handful of guys in different markets that I know are profitable, may not have financial backing, or may not have accounts. So like a lot of them weren't even moving lines. But I know they win. So I've done that. And what I do is I just free roll them. I give them, depends on what I think they're capable of, and I'll give them 500 a game, 1,000 a game. And the free roll means I just cover their losses, and I give them their wins, obviously. But when they lose, I cover it, and they have to work that off. So let's say they start off and they lose the first 5 bets for 1,000 at minus 110, they're minus 5,500. I pay the 5,500 to the books. They have to work that off. So they're not up until they win above 5,500. So let's say the next week they win 10,000. I give them their 4,500, but I've already bet on top of that myself. So that's how that works. Hope that clears it up. Go a little deeper. If you need any more clarification, my man, I'm here for you. All right. Financially free focused. Love it. Do you bet size 2 pick NFL teasers like your straight bets? Yes. You know, from 1x to 5x. But teasers, I don't think I've ever gone below a 3% teaser, 0.75 a bankroll. I don't think I've done a 5% either. It's usually 3 or 4%. So I'm going 0.75 to 1% of bankroll on my teasers. And they're always going to be plus EV. Like I have a calculator I punch them into, and I already know what my edge is. Like you saw last year, whoever was with me in the NFL, when I text that, when I sent out the play, when I put it in the Wagers Talk back end, I would even say at this, a 6-point teaser at minus 120 is you have a 13.2% edge. At minus 125, you have a 7.2% edge. So I would even let them know your exact edge on the teasers, because again, I have a system that allows me to do that. Next. All right. Ellukmee, Ellukmee. All right, my man. Bobby Miller over 1.5 minus 150. If my book allows same game parlay, Bobby Miller over 4.5 hits allowed plus 1. Would you parlay it at the payout of 162? Would you consider correlate par so that I could take advantage? Thank you, big fan. Yeah. I wish I could tell you with certainty that what the probabilities are that if starting pitcher has an earned runs average or allows over 1.5 earned runs in their start, how many times are you expected for them to go over 4.5 hits? I would love to see the math on that. Or every time you go over 4.5 hits, you give up over 4.5 hits. How many times does that same pitcher give up 1.5 over 1.5 earned runs? What is the correlation between the two? I would love to see that. Then I can tell you with 100% certainty. Off the top of my head, it appears like it would make sense that to get over 1.5 earned runs, you got to give up 2 earned runs. You got to give up both 2 earned runs. It would seem that you need 5 hits for that to happen, right? Let's say you give up a single, another single, then a home run. You went over, right? And earn runs, but under and hits allowed. I don't know the exact math. I told you, I will tell you when it's opinion. I will tell you when it's fact. I will tell you when it's opinion. I'll tell you when it's fact. Jimmy two-time. And I don't know the exact correlation, man. It seems like it makes sense. It seems like it makes sense. And as I explained to you, the groups that I work with, because the limits just aren't as high in baseball, just like it isn't in college basketball, and they want to get more down because the edge is greater. What they end up doing is diversifying by betting like that, where if they like the over for the game, they'll bet first 5 over. They'll bet yes first in a run in the first inning. They'll bet run hits errors over, because those things are more probable if the game goes over 9 runs, let's say. So in theory, I would say yes. In theory, I would say yes. In fact, making him factual, I would say I'm open to interpretation, open to someone doing the math. I would say open to someone doing the math. All right. President JB, how can we get BMC's plays? Are there still any ways? I'm not, honestly, I've gotten asked that multiple times for that group, because they're great. They're great. They're, small sample size, like I'm low volume, big bets. And these guys will pass if there's nothing. Like they're the 3 dudes that I've known here now. 2 of them I've known over 10 plus years. The one guy I've known since I got here. I know they're legit. I know they're looking to see something if they could do it. The thing is, they're dudes that are out here that bet. Like, people know who they are that bet out here, but they're not. If they have Facebooks, maybe for their families, I don't know if they have any Twitters or shit. Like I said, it's for them to watch the news or whatever. They're not posting. They're not putting pictures of themselves betting or anything like that. These dudes are legit sports bettors. And I actually convinced them that, look, you can monetize it this way. It's getting harder and harder for you to get down. You get stiffed by 1 book a year. It costs so much. This will help offset that. And you're helping people make money because you guys are actually legit. So I know they're probably in talks right now, I'm sure, with different groups, different platforms. But because they don't want to be seen, a lot of platforms don't want to mess with them, because it's like, you need to do content in 2024. You need to do radio. You need to do shit like that if you're going to sell. Unfortunately, just can't have a reputation for being profitable. And I think those guys won every single year since the big moves launched. They would think 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And I think they're up again this year, if I'm not mistaken. Like, these guys are good. They're very, very, very good at what they do. Or I think they had 1 losing year, which was like negligible at best. I'm talking like not even juice, like really small. So yeah, I keep an eye out. Again, you see the Twitter's still there. I'm sure they'll put out something if they do. I hope they do. I really do. I hope they just put up a website, dude. I told them, just put up a website, or go to one of those platforms that allow for it. So we'll see. I'll let you know on that. All right. Kyle Carlson, 7874. Before you became a disciplined bettor, what was your biggest wager? What was your biggest wager? Oh, before I learn how to win. I think I bet 40 dimes. I think I bet 40 dimes on a Monday Night Football game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like 40 dimes. I know I bet like, 10, 20 a few times. Like 8,000. That's all I had. I bet it all. But I remember betting to win 40 dimes. I'm pretty sure it was Monday Night Football. And the disgusting part is I probably only had like maybe 60 dimes at that time. I was trying to get to 100. I was trying to get to 100. I actually won that bet. I did. I actually won that bet by luck. By luck. My team was getting crushed at halftime, and then like came back and ended up winning and like covering the spread barely and stuff. So they won. And, I lived great. It was great for a while, but I lost that back. I lost it back for sure. Like I said, there were times where it was great. Take a nice vacation. That's why if you see, I was putting up pictures at beautiful freaking places all over the world. But again, the next month, you go on a cold streak and now I have nothing. So yeah, I made big bets, but the money didn't matter. Can't lose respect for it. Plenty of money to be made in Euro Cup, Copa America. I agree, Jimmy Underwood. I definitely agree, Jimmy Underwood. I need to see any questions that I might have missed. Oh, yeah, Dirty Reg. I got even to get to. I know she mentioned it, but I don't think it printed out on this or the back. But he said, why do you roast me for giving honest feedback? That's what you asked for. Correct. When bashing me, you left off the fact that I made my statement about Waterson being not so sharp pick well before the fight even took place. So it's not like I came in after the fact at all. What I'm asking you is, what was the reasoning for Waterson not being a sharp pick? That's all I asked. Like, what is the reasoning? Me saying it's not sharp. Why? Did the line move against me? What makes did she say she's retiring? Like, what made it? What data made it? What metric? What data point made it the square play? That's all. Wasn't bashing, or please don't take it the wrong way. The only thing I'm trying to get across is, if you're going to challenge, then explain it. And because a lot of times I will be wrong. I like being proven wrong so that I don't continue making the same mistake. But I just don't, I can't come to the conclusion that I got down for this group that bets MMA, that's up a lot in MMA historically and this year. And they took, I think, a plus 180 that closed plus 150. I don't know how that's not sharp. Again, if I'm doing it wrong, tell me how I'm doing it wrong. Just let me know when is closing line value not plus EV. And then, that's the part I don't understand. Irrelevant what happens. Irrelevant before the fight happens, before it happens. What made it not sharp? My receipts on what made it sharp and plus EV, without even going into any of the data, is the fact that we bet it at a much better number that it closed at. And if you can do that, you're a mathematical certainty to turn a profit long term. That's fact, because you're beating the market. That's all I'm saying, Dirty Reg. Again, I swear to you, it's nothing to argue, but if you're going to challenge, then just explain why. I love debate. But just telling someone they're wrong or telling someone that's a bad pick doesn't say anything. This is why it's a bad pick. And this makes it'll make perfect sense. Maybe I'll say, you know what, dude, you're right. You'll pull up an article from Pinnacle that explains how closing line value, the math doesn't matter. It doesn't make it plus EV by this percent, that percent edge. Maybe it's out there. The last one I've seen that Pinnacle put out was how much edge you have based on what CLV you get. So if I'm wrong, again, please let me know, and I will apologize. There's never disrespect, and I always ask you to please challenge, because absolutely I will make mistakes, and absolutely I need to be corrected when that happens. But I will also tell you the difference between my opinion and fact. And CLV is factual. It don't matter if it's 1970 and you're running for the mafia or whatever the hell the one of the dudes said, nonsense and bullshit, or whether it's 2024. If you're not getting CLV, you're probably not winning long term. Love you guys. Have a great day. Back tomorrow, 4th of July. Ooh, we'll see.